What's going on, everybody? It's me, AJ from ajFitness. Make sure you guys like the Facebook page and follow me on Twitter at Fitness with AJ. So today was my deadlift routine. If you haven't been keeping up with my videos, I am starting a new program, or I have started a new program, and it's a combination of 531 programs and powerlifting programs. And my main goal is to build size and strength in the next few months. I started the week off doing squats. I don't have a video up for that, but I do have my bench press video that's up, and take a look at that if you'd like. Anyway, let's focus on the deadlifts. So today's main lift, like I said already, was deadlifts, and I just warmed up with 135 pounds. Did that for one set for 12 reps. And my second set, I moved up to 225 pounds. Did this for one set and 8 reps. Now, the reason why I went from 135 to 225, which is a significant jump in weight, is because I don't want to wear myself out too soon, and I want to get the full benefit from my work sets. So this is leading up to my work set. This is 225, and for my next set, I finally move up to my heaviest weight, 315. Now, the thing about deadlifts is that it's one of those exercises that requires practice, and I think the last time I did deadlifts was maybe 5 or 6 months ago, so almost half a year was the last time I did deadlifts. I actually surprised myself because I was able to deadlift 315 pounds for 5 sets and 5 reps per set. The reason why I am not doing deficit deadlifts, which I think are significantly more beneficial than regular deadlifts, is because my body is not used to the powerlifting program, and I know that I am flexible, but I don't want to, put my flexibility and my strength to the test just yet. I want to gradually move into the powerlifting program, and it was brought up in one of my videos, my last video for chest, that it's very beneficial to shock the muscles by changing a routine just like that. But when it comes to powerlifting and the program that I'm on, I believe that safety outweighs the benefits. So I'm going to move into the program slowly and let my body adapt so I can prevent injury. Anyway, these deadlifts were quite hard. They they wore me out after the first set, but obviously that from then on it's just mental. So you got to really focus yourself. And I didn't have my music because I'm filming from my iPhone, so I didn't have my music to get me into the mood to lift this heavy ass weight. So I really had to focus. So I pumped out these last few reps for this set, and we're gonna be coming up on a set where I actually am not able to get the last, I think it was the last rep or the last 2 reps. And so what I did was I took about a 30-40 second rest and then finished the last 2 reps. Now I think this is the last set, the one where I fail. And like I said earlier, guys, deadlifts, I'm gonna have to practice these a little bit more. I definitely felt it in my hamstrings. I know I was doing them right because nothing hurts, and I feel it in my hamstrings, my glutes, and my lower back. I made sure that I had neutral alignment of my spine and that I wasn't jerking, and I was very fluid with the motion, and I brought the bar as close to my legs as possible to avoid the bar being out and then having your leverage work against you and making it harder for you to complete one rep, and to add to that also increases your risk of injury. So I would suggest anybody doing deadlifts, make sure the bar is as close to you as possible. Wear long pants, because the bar will, I've had, last time I did deadlifts, the bar scraped me right against my shin and took off a good amount of my skin, so I had to wrap it up because I was bleeding everywhere. And I believe that, or no, is this the last set? I can't even keep up with my own videos, you guys. That's pretty pathetic, don't you think? Anyway, when I do deadlifts, I like to start off in about a half squat, a mid squat, because it is the main muscle groups that you're hitting are your hamstrings, and then it works up to your glutes into your lower back as you move up. Those were the last 2 reps of the ones that I failed on in the set before. And now we're moving on to my first accessory exercise. So deadlifts are done. Now I'm moving on to pull-ups. The reason why I chose to do pull-ups is because I worked my lower back doing deadlifts, and I as well work my entire back. So I decided to start with my body weight and do 12 reps of pull-ups. And then I moved on to weighted pull-ups. Now what you see me wearing is a belt that has a chain that allows you to strap a plate, any kind of plate, any weight, or plates, you can do more if you like, to the belt, and that creates a good amount of resistance for you. And when I did these pull-ups, I found it actually a lot harder to do the pull-ups because not only did you have added weight, the added weight I could handle, but after doing the deadlifts, I was worn out, I was tired, and on top of that, my hands were sweaty as hell. See, I'm wiping my hand on my sweat on my pants. And I could barely hold on to the bar, so next time I do these pull-ups, these weighted pull-ups, I'm going to use a pull-up bar with rubber handles as opposed to metal ones where I'm just sliding all around. And for these, the weighted pull-ups, I did 5 sets of 6 reps. In my opinion, you guys, I think pull-ups are the best mass gainer for building mass in your back. And they're even a lot better when you have resistance like I'm doing with the weighted belt. Comparing this to pull-ups, I would say I think dead weight in just about any exercise is the most beneficial because when you're doing lat pull downs, you have your legs locked in, and what that takes away is from you your back and your core, keeping you stabilized. So as you can see, I'm not swinging or anything. These aren't competition pull-ups or CrossFit. They're straight up and down, and with lat pull down, your knees are locked in, so your legs won't be moving around to swing you, and you're not recruiting the muscles to keep your body still. So if I had to choose between lat pull down and pull-ups, I would definitely do pull-ups. And you can see, you can definitely experiment with this. You can go do some lat pull downs, and if you're like me, you can probably lat pull down maybe 200, and I do 10 reps of 210 pounds quite easily. Here I weigh about 170 with added 45 pounds, so 215, and I'm only able to do 6 reps. That just shows you how much more challenging pull-ups are compared to lat pull-downs. So if you're somebody who's trying to increase the amount of pull-ups they want to do or build the size of your back, pull-ups are the way to go. Very, very, very important core exercise when it comes to changing your body in every which way. And for the first set of weighted pull-ups, I actually didn't have anything to step up with, so I had to swing around and get my arm up, and I almost fell off. So I got a bench to step up with. And now here I'm doing dips. Now for every set on this accessory exercise, I chose just to do my body weight and do 10 to 15 reps, mainly because I had already done my chest workout for the week, and this doesn't need to be that intense. So I just go in there, pump them out, and there's really not much time I'm going to spend on these. You're not going to see everything. So as you can see, I have my head forward, and what that allows me to do is that allows me to bring my whole body, or most of my upper body, forward, so it's more of a press, more of like a push-up, rather than just having your back straight up and down. You're working more of your shoulders. When you want to work more of your chest, you want to lean forward, so your chest is almost parallel to the ground, or as parallel as you can get it to the ground, so it's more of a chest press. But still, of course, any sort of chest press or variation of chest press is a compound movement, so your shoulders will be involved no matter what. And this is the last set. I changed the angle because the lighting really sucked. I'm filming from my iPhone, and I plan on getting a better camera soon, renting a better camera. And now we have moved on to core. I am, from now on, just about every core exercise I do, everything I do for my abs is going to be weighted. Because this is for my own benefit. I want my abs to pop out a little bit more. I want there to be deeper cuts. So the key to deeper cuts in abs is building the muscle, the actual muscle of the abdomen in the core region. I started off doing 120 pounds for about 10 reps, and I moved up to 140. I'm doing a pyramid scheme. The pyramid strategy only applies to the reps in this case, because I work myself all the way up to 160, but I don't drop down. I just work up the number of reps, and then I drop down the number of reps. So going back to having defined abs overall, first of all, your diet has to be in order. Whether you have defined abs or not, if your diet isn't in order, most likely you're carrying layers of fat above your core, and nobody can see them. And the only way to get rid of them is through proper training, but mainly diet. But if you are somebody who does have visible abs and is looking to, bring them out more, give them more definition, I would say definitely do weighted ab exercises. The people that I met at my shows, my fitness shows, they all had really ripped abs. Well, some of them had really, really good-looking abs. They, really deep cuts, and I was, what do you do for them? Like, I have abs, but they're just like, nothing special about them. They're not deep or anything. They say, well, weighted abs, man, weighted abs. Do them all the time. Don't do a single crunch with your own body weight ever again. So I'm going to take their advice. And right here, this is my favorite angle, because you guys can get a nice view of my big ass. And it just puts it into perspective for me. I mean, I never realized how big my butt is until I did this exercise and looked at it on the phone. I was like, wow, I have a big butt. It runs in my family that, our limbs tend to get bigger as you go up. So, like, we have small wrists, but you get to our shoulders, and our shoulders are quite, have some size on them. The same thing applies to our legs. My calves aren't that skinny anymore. In the past year, I've been working on my calves, and they grew quite well. But before, I had really skinny calves, but if you work your way up my leg, my thigh gets wider as you go up to my thigh, and then towards the bottom of my butt and where that meets my thigh, it gets really, really large. So, kind of throws people off, and people think that I never do squats or I don't work on my legs. No, I'm not that kind of guy, guys. I'm here to help you guys out, and definitely even workout regimen all around is very important. Finally, we move on to the very last exercise, and these are weighted leg raises. I'm doing these to hit my lower abs, because I feel as if I have lower abs, but they haven't worked enough to pop out. So I'm gonna work the hell out of these. I've been working these for the past year, actually, and I've shown some improvement. I see more vascularity in my lower ab region. And although you can't really see it at this angle, I actually do have a 15-pound dumbbell between my feet, and I just move that up. I bring my knees just about towards my face, and I make sure that when I do this, I close my abdominal wall as much as I can. That should apply to just about any core exercise. Closing your abdominal wall will ensure that you are working your abdominals. I see too many times people who do crunches, and they barely even get their shoulder blades off the ground, and they think that they're doing something. No. Closing your abdominal wall ensures that you are working the maximum amount of surface area that your abs provide. Now, obviously, you have to do your crunches that work your upper and mid abdomen region, and then your lower that works your lower up to your mid abdomen region. And as you can see, I'm not straightening my legs, because that would turn into a leg exercise. People say, no, you need to straighten your legs, man, you're not doing anything. No, that's not entirely true. I would say straightening legs does make it a bigger challenge, but the whole point of this exercise is like I said, closing the abdominal wall, and by doing that, you have to rotate your hips. A lot of people just bring their legs up and think that they're working their lower abs. No, when you rotate your hips, that's when your abs begin to get involved in the exercise. As you can see, I'm bringing my legs up and then I'm bringing my hips towards my chin, which allows my knees to get really close to my face. That's what makes this an effective exercise. I've been doing this for so long now, and I only see improvements month after month in my abs. I believe that there is a clip coming up showing, you can see the dumbbell. I don't want you guys to pretend like I don't want you guys to think that I'm pretending to have a weight between my legs. I swear it's there. I mean, it's just a matter of time before whatever. Anyway, here is the summary of my workout. You guys can write this down. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter @FitnessAJ and like the Facebook page.